Well, I wanted to talk about the Phoenix Lights and this. I don't know how I did not know this part of the story. It has to do with this famous movie star that was one of the first to report the Phoenix Lights. Do you already know who I'm going to talk about? Yeah. By the way, thanks for being here on Doc in the Den. Nice to see you. So, I can't stop watching documentaries lately about the Phoenix Lights because guess what? I live in Phoenix. And I keep thinking, where was I on the night of March 13th, 1997? I know I was here. I was actually still in nursing school. This was even before I went to medical school. So, again, kind of a long time ago, but I feel like it was yesterday. Don't the 90s feel like it was just yesterday? So, the Phoenix Light incident, if you don't know about it, is one of the most famous mass UFO sightings, I think, in history. And I live right here where it happened. And so the other night I was like, what was I doing that night? I was probably inside studying. I just so am bummed that I missed that. But it involved thousands of witnesses right here in Arizona and all the way into Nevada who reported these unusual lights in the sky. So many documentaries and videos about it now, and it has still not been explained or debunked. Well, two main events occurred with that. There was a V-shaped formation of lights slowly moving across the sky, and then a separate set of stationary orbs that appeared later near the Sierra Estrella Mountains here. So do you know that movie star I'm talking about? It was Kurt Russell. Yeah, Kurt Russell was actually one of the first to report it. I didn't even know he was a licensed amateur pilot, but he played a key role in this event because he claims to have been one of the first, if not one of the first people to report it to the airport. So apparently he was flying into Phoenix Sky Harbor. Gosh, that's like 20 minutes away from me when he saw them. Apparently he was flying with his son named Oliver. And this is a son who he has with Goldie Hawn. So Oliver could visit his girlfriend that lived here in the valley. Apparently, it happened around 10 p.m. during the approach to landing at the airport. When they were about half a mile out from the runway, his son actually said, "Hey, Pa, what are those lights? Like, what are those?" And expressing concern about their safety. And, Kurt Russell, momentarily distracted because, he's trying to fly a plane and get ready to land, responded, well, he looked over there. He's like, I don't know what those are, but we're going to report this. So next, the air traffic controllers confirmed that nothing was showing up on the radar. Now, if you watch the documentary, they say that this UFO could have been as big as a football field, like a V-shaped football field. Many people that were outside, again, it's in the documentary, people were outside in book reading groups and people walking their dog and just people hanging out outside because March is a beautiful time of year in Phoenix. You absolutely can be outside and enjoy the weather. And the one doctor that actually kind of lives near me, I think it's Dr. Katai, she was the one that saw it from her balcony, and she has footage, and that's really the famous footage that's all over the internet now. Well, anyway, he reported it to the airport saying, I'm seeing these lights. They said, we don't know what it is. And, he proceeded to land his plane safely without any further incident. Well, all heck breaks loose the next day because all these people had called in overnight to the police, to the military, because we have a base here. It's at the west side of town, and nobody knew what this was. Well, at the time, Kurt Russell didn't think much of it because he just logged the sighting as part of the standard pilot protocol. He basically forgot about it until around the year 2000 because Goldie Hawn was watching one of the documentaries about the Phoenix Lights, and it dawned on him like, I was one of the pilots that reported those lights. And then they watched that and he was like, oh my gosh, that was me. I reported those lights. So apparently he checked his old flight logs. He confirmed the date of when he reported those lights. So he revealed this involvement in a 2017 casual interview on the BBC's The One Show. Again, you can see this interview online. You can just Google that on YouTube and find it. He was interviewed a lot because he was promoting Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, that movie. He has since discussed it in other interviews, like on Discovery's UFO Witness. That came out in 2023. So, what's his opinion? What was Kurt Russell's opinion? He's been really straightforward in his views about this. He described the lights as a UFO, though. Yeah, in the literal sense, an unidentified flying object. And he says it was something airborne that couldn't be explained. But he says it's an unexplained phenomena because, again, it still hasn't been explained what those lights were. And again, I remember him from Escape from LA, the movie The Thing. And I still think that movie, The Thing, I think that came out in the very early 80s. That was one of the scariest movies, was it not? I think so. But anyway, so the broader context to the Phoenix Lights. Okay, so this event, like when people started seeing the Phoenix Lights, do you know that spanned an area of about 300 miles, all the way from Nevada through the valley here in Phoenix and all the way down south to Tucson? The sightings occurred everywhere between 7:30 p.m. all the way through 10:30 p.m. Do you know our governor at the time was Fife Symington? He came out and admitted he actually saw the lights after making fun of it. Again, if you see the documentaries, you'll see what he did. You know, he had someone dress up as an alien and did a press conference, which was really insulting to all the people that actually saw it. Anyway, he came out years later and admitted he actually saw it too. Yeah. So the astronomer James McGaha and UFO researcher Robert Schaefer attribute the V formation. They think it's from an A-10 Thunderbolt aircraft from military training exercise from Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. Yeah, okay, but the only thing is, the eyewitness account said it made no sound, and it just slowly hovered. And it was so large, it blocked out the stars in the sky about the size of a football field and made no sound. You can't tell me that an aircraft from 1997 that large would make absolutely no sound. Right? Military later explained that the orbs were flares dropped by military. Again, how insulting, especially to Dr. Katai, who has this on video. You clearly see they are not flares. But the Phoenix Lights gained national and world attention initially after a USA Today front page story that came out in June of 1997. And that, of course, kicked off documentaries and books and shows. It is considered one of the most witnessed UFO events ever. And I kick myself that I was probably inside because I know I was in Phoenix at the time and I'm like, dang it. Yeah, I missed the biggest UFO event in history, and here I live here. Isn't that crazy? But, you know, we do see strange things in the sky here in Phoenix, in particular up north in Flagstaff and Sedona, because the skies are so clean up there. And late at night, oh boy, do you see stuff. You really do. But anyway, I thought that was interesting, explaining Kurt Russell's role involved in the Phoenix Lights, because I knew all about it, but I never knew his involvement. I think that's really cool. So I wanted to share that here. Hey, comment below if you already knew this, and I'll see you on the next one.